What is going on, guys? Tyler Rodriguez from Photo Booth 101 University Podcast. Welcome to our podcast, guys. I am here with my boy Hans. How you doing, Hans? How you doing today? Obviously, Drew's not in the house today. He had a few things he had to take care of, so it's just me and you, man, in the fort today. Let's talk about it. What is up, man?
Not much, man. I'm sad you left. We'll talk about this past weekend on the next podcast. But
Yes, sir.
already miss you,
Well,
man.
well, well we could briefly touch it, man. The trip was wonderful. Thank you for inviting me to your party, man. It was great. I know we'll touch up on it more next week when Drew's back on the podcast. I had a great time with you guys. You, Drew, Monte, you guys were all great. I think the class was phenomenal. I think we killed it. But again, I think this is something we'll touch on next week. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. Next week, we're going to be talking about our class, our in-person mentor class that we did, the master class. We're going to be talking about Hans's baby shower because Hans is due for his second baby now, and we had his baby shower. And we're going to be talking about the pros of having your own equipment when you're in the party rental business. But that's for next week, and this is going to be for this week, guys. Go ahead, Hans. You kill it. You know what you're talking about for this week's podcast. Since Drew's not here, so we're going to talk about something else.
Yeah, man. I wanted to talk about. We're always giving advice to people that are like that are starting off, and I feel like we've been leaving out the people that are already got some traction. And you and me, we already got traction. We already got customers. We're not starving for leads anymore. So I wanted to talk about like a year or more into the business. Like, let's reflect where we're at. Let's reflect what we could have done better. Let's reflect on some mistakes. But yeah, let's kick it off and let's talk about reflecting on our own year. So looking back to like a little over a year ago when you started, um, what what do you like where you're at, or just reflect? Tell me about it.
Man, TKR events 1 year ago, I gotta say, man, was totally different than what it was and what it is today. We started off with a very, very Amazon backdrop. Like we had like that flimsy backdrop. I don't know if you remember when I FaceTimed you a few times. I'm like, hey, look at my backdrop. And I know Hans was here telling, yeah, man, it looks great. But I know deep down inside he was like, oh, that's an ugly backdrop, man.
Yeah.
But we all start somewhere. So, and now, backtracking now where, I have a bunch of different pillowcase type backdrops. I have my LED inflatable. I have so many other options now. I'm still working off of one photo booth. Maybe something that I should have now that I don't is two photo booths because I have been killing it. I'm about $60,000 into the photo booth business now, which is a great number, but that's one photo booth, man. And I always thought to myself, what would have happened if I had two? Because there was a lot of times where I had to give some events away. I had to white label some. I had to decline some because I was double booked and I couldn't find somebody to help me do that second event because I wasn't too into the photo booth 101 chat yet. Where I was like, okay, let me just give an event away. I didn't know a lot of people until maybe about 5 months in, 6 months in, but like those first 3 months were like, man, like cheap backdrop, uh, dollar store props, and nothing wrong with that because that's the way to start. And that's the way that we talk about starting to start a photo booth business. Get that cheap backdrop, get the cheap dollar store props. But as you're progressing and building, your business throughout like, at least your year mark, at least by that end of the year, you should have a decent, metal steady pillowcase type backdrop, double sided backdrop. You should by then have some nice Amazon premium props. Even at Five Below, you could buy some. I call them premium props, but like the lifesavers, the Mario Luigi masks. Just like themed props. I instead of just having regular schmegular glasses, stuff like get have fun with it. I feel like you should just always be creative. And I think that's where we are. The only perk right now is that we don't have two photo booths yet, but it's definitely gonna happen because now it's at this point needed. But yeah, how about you, man? For best photo booths LA 1 year ago. Talk about it.
Man, 1 year ago, man, I I remember making my first template for my first free event, man. Now that I look about it, oh my God, it was so bad, dude. That template it looked like paper mache, just like a kindergarten put it together, man.
Yeah.
And it was a free event, and I was really excited because it was for a mechanical bull customer. She was a teacher, so she was like having like a reunion for like her all the teachers at her school, and she was throwing a little party for all the teachers because she was a teacher. And I was like, hey, like I just started rental business for photo booths. As you know, I'm already known for my mechanical bulls, but like I really want to push this. Like, do you mind if I bring it? It'll be free, and it seems like you have a really good party going on. And I like when she first saw like the pictures, she was super nice about it. But now that I think about it, I was like, man, she probably thought I was like such a rookie, man. Like it was really really bad, man.
Well, did you tell her that you were new in the business,
No,
or
I
what
did.
did
I was open about it. That's why I told her I wanted to offer it for free because I wanted to start pushing it. So I wanted to grab content. I told her the only catch is like whatever pictures I take, like I can use it as content and stuff like that. But I've gotten
you?
so much better at at, at templates, man. I think like the best thing I've improved on, besides like learning LumaBooth, the ins and outs of it, because that's my favorite software. I know you use Salsa, but LumaBooth is in my heart, and I love that program. But yeah, Canva, man. I was not good at it. I was trying to go with like the free version. And now that I'm a year in, man, I can't believe I did anything without the pro version, man. The pro version is so good. So I would say like anyone like, into the year mark, you should already be learning like you should already know your software in and out, man. In and out. Like if I tell you like, hey man, you missed this part, you shouldn't have to like really really scroll and try to remember or try to YouTube it. At this point you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about it, boom, fixed. You shouldn't have to scroll. I feel like if you're still having to scroll, then that probably a telltale sign that you're not having enough events. So so
Absolutely.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I agree, man. I remember when I first started, I didn't know how to make a template. I didn't even know what Canva was. And I remember you actually helped me make my first template, man, and I still have it. It's for Agnes' 40th birthday. And I'll never forget it, man. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Hans helped me make a template. And then from there, I was like, I have to learn eventually. And I know you helped me like with the first a couple after that. And I was like, okay, like now it's time for me to really like get into this. So, just did some research on YouTube. I call it YouTube University because everything's pretty much free on YouTube, just like how this is going to be on YouTube for you guys to learn what our mistakes were when we first started in the photo booth business. And I got on YouTube. I just started learning how to make templates. A lot of Drew's videos helped me. Just like kind of learning. My wife got real creative with it as well. We got the pro version, and like you said, man, without that pro version, man, I don't really think a photo booth owner could really give their full potential without it because
Yeah.
there's so much more to offer in that Canva Pro. Yeah, you can get away with having the non-pro version, but it's just so much more work. If you want to like get a like take the background off and stuff, you got to do it off of like Photoshop or like remove background software and stuff like that. And then if you're lucky, you'll be able to save it on Canva, like the regular version. But I think we both came very far, man. I think it's great to reflect back, thinking that 1 year ago today, around not today, but 1 year ago around this time, I wasn't even thinking about how successful my business was going to be. And now a year later, I've worked with Chase, oh my god, so many customers. Chase, SGC America, Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, and like that's only year one. Year two is just starting. So yeah, man, it's just a real big change, man. I think, like I said, the only thing I'm really stressing about not having right now is that second photo booth. But I think it was more because I just really wanted to see how the first one would do before I decide to make that decision to get the second one. And it's well overdue, man. I should have got one 6 months ago, a second one. But yeah, man, that's all I really got to say about
Think
that.
about that problem. Think about it. You just said it. Like that's a good problem to have. Like a lot of people wish they could say that. Like, oh man, I really need that second photo booth. That's a mistake. Other people are like, man, I wish I could, get like enough leads. So, um,
Yeah,
that's a good problem to have, man.
yeah.
Um, so now let's talk about it. Now that we're a year in, um, what could we have done better? I'll start with this one because I really want to talk about it. Ads, man. When I first started, I didn't want to spend too much money on ads. Um, just because my mechanical bull business was doing well, and a lot of my mechanical bull business was feeding my photo booth business. But like a lot of my like first year like experience depended on getting leads from a mechanical bulls, you know, and that's not the case anymore, man. That's not the case. I think I've grown enough to like I could keep them separate. I don't have to depend on my mechanical bulls to get me leads for my photo booth. And the reason why now is because of ads, man. If I could tell myself a year ago what should you work on is ads. For me, for my mechanical bulls, Google ads works really well for me, but Instagram's ads is working really well for my photo booth business. So I feel like what I could have done better is like jump in and not be scared of doing Instagram ads, thinking like I'm just gonna burn money because I did it with my mechanical bulls. I started a little bit of ads with mechanical bulls on Instagram, and it's a total flop. Didn't give me anything. But with my photo booth business, it's been thriving, man. So I don't know
That's good.
what could you have done better during your first year? Like if you had to tell yourself,
So honestly, man, I think what I could have probably done better, and no, I know I could have done better, was not the ads. I actually did pretty good on the ads. The ads, I did those right away. Not right away, but maybe the first like 2 months, I was like, okay, I gotta get some ads out. I was waiting to do that thing that Drew said, the 3 swipes, to have enough media to start posting ads and like getting ads out there so people can start seeing my page. But I think the one thing that was really weak for me last year, man, was, oh boy, what was it, bro? Like, oh man, there's so much. Um, Maybe not setting my prices the way they should have been. Maybe it was just like me just kind of like coming up with numbers and like, okay, here's my price. And a lot of customers would get unattractive with my prices. Um, but now that I set the on my website, 375 for just the photo booth and then the add-ons, it helps my business so much, man. Because now, obviously, even having a website, that was a big one. Not having a website, I just got my website up this year, and a lot of it was because it was just me trying to just depend on Instagram. And finally, I put my website out there. And actually, while I was down in California, I got booked by somebody who went on my Instagram, went on my website, and they're not allowed to book through my website yet because I'm still working on integrating my honey book. And thank you for that in the class, bro. I learned a lot from you that day, and I sat there and paid attention. So I don't think I did it. I can't wait to finally put it together this week. Um, but yeah, I think it was more like just not having a structured website and just having to show my customers, here's my prices, because I would have to individually speak to each customer, tell them what they're looking for, find out how far their event is from my location. And just now being able to say, hey, my photo was 375, my prop table's $25, my LED inflatables 150, my backdrops are $100. You could build your own package. A lot of customers are like, wow, that's cool. I can make my own package. So not, being able to do that in the beginning kind of, and not say kind of, but really probably hurt my business when I first started. Another flaw that I really had a problem with last year was like trusting the drop off. I know you and Drew were real big on the drop off, like from the start. I know Drew obviously because he helped to like push the drop off to where it's at now for a lot of people, and you trusted it right away too, and you started doing it.
well, that's
I didn't
because I
trust the
already
drop
had
off in the
mechanical bulls, so I kind of like had that
yeah. I
mentality.
guess your trust system. I was just, like anybody else, you would be scared to drop off thousands of dollars worth of products, of your inventory, your photo booth, your LED inflatable or backdrop, your iPads in there. Anybody could break it, and like you've heard before, no one's gonna care about your stuff more than you. So like especially random customers, they're not gonna care about your stuff. They don't care if your iPad breaks. They don't care if your photo booth gets cracked up or the LED light breaks. Yeah, they're responsible for it. I know that there's a contract set in place for that, but some people just still don't care. So in the beginning, I just didn't trust that process. But now this year, I finally, not this year, it was started around maybe Thanksgiving time, Christmas time. I started finally saying, okay, let me just go drop it off. But I wasn't fully doing the drop off. I would like go drop it off, stick around, come back, wait there for a little bit. I would just like come and go. But while we were at your party, I spoke with Drew. And I'm like, no, like for real, this year is like it's all about the drop off. Like I have to trust this. So I have an event Friday. It's a little bit farther from my house. I'm the one that takes those 40-minute drives for events. So I'm gonna go drop it off, stick around the area, and I'm gonna come back at 10 o'clock when the event's over. It's on a Friday, so I don't have work the next day. So it's not like, oh, I gotta, just stay here, stick around, just rush out of here. There's nothing to rush for Saturday. So yeah, I'm just finally gonna trust the drop off. And I think that, being able to maybe go to a Starbucks nearby or even just sit in my car, just jump on my phone or computer and just keep networking my business. And maybe that's time for me to just do those ads like you were talking about. It's time for me to just make my contracts or make templates for customers that I have, coming up and stuff like that. And I feel like that'll help me save time. And when I save time, I'm saving more potential possibilities to work with future clients. So I'm gonna 100% trust the drop off. Another thing too is finally being able to trust the pickup. That's another situation. I know you just started your pickups, which is great, and I guess maybe that's something we'll talk about in the next podcast. And I don't want to get too into debt with it, but I'm gonna finally trust the pickup as well. I think it's time. My equipment's a little bit older now. It's not beat up because I've treated it well this last year, but I think it's at the point where it's like, okay, even if it has a little scratches and bruises here and there, it's not gonna hurt me because I know it's time. That'll push me to get that second photo booth because I'm like, okay, well, this one's already starting to get beat up. It's time to get the next one. And then just go from there, man. And I think it's from there I'll turn from 2 photo booths to 3, 3 to 4, and who knows how far it's going to take me. So just learning from you guys, from you and Drew, taught me a lot, man. And I appreciate you guys. And I know we've been in the same, we're in the same time frame, like a year, but like, you know, sometimes the way you talk, you act like you're in the business for 20. So, but
Been in the
yeah,
party.
man, those were really my flaws last year, man. Just not trusting myself, just not being able to craft a good website and structure my prices the way they were. But it's crazy. I still managed to make about $60,000 last year. From then until now, my year mark, without a website. So I think that and that's what me and Drew were talking about at your party last week, is that I was able to trust just being off my Instagram, and I think that that's what kind of made me feel like I don't even think I need a website at this point. I networked with so many people, with bounce house operators, with DJs, with florists, with limousine companies and stuff like that. Like I talked about in the master class, and I just was getting events off all these people. And then I started talking to other photo booth owners who were just giving away events. And then obviously we had the group chat, and they were giving away events. So I felt like I just never needed a website. But now that I have a website, I'm getting booked even more. So it's like, whoa, like, yeah, now I know why I need a second photo booth, because now I'm really getting there's coming to a point where I get like 2 customers every couple of days trying to book the same date. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's time, man. So that's my flaw last year, brother.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that was good advice, I guess. Yeah. I like it. The second photo booth. You wish you would have done it sooner. Um so for the people that are in the say we're talking to our group chat on photo booth 101 chat, right? We have a couple of comers that are about to hit their year now. What advice would you tell them to finish their year strong? So we're not telling them we're not talking to the rookies, learn your software, do this, do that. These are the guys that are about to hit their year mark, and you want them to hit their year strong, right? You want them to finish strong their first year. What advice do you have so they finish strong on their first year?
Man, I would say probably just be consistent. You know, uh, uh, get more creative with your content. I think content is a really important thing in this industry. Being able to post and be in front of the camera. I really stress that. Even with you, and I'm like, being in front of that camera and being like promoting your business. Like, hey guys, my name is Tyler Rodriguez from TKR Events, and here's my photo booth. Here's what I do for a living. Here's what I do to make sure your party runs smooth. You know what I mean? Obviously, you don't got to say it like that. You could say simply as like, hey guys, Tyler here from TKR Events, and we're here at Jasmine's Sweet 16. Let's go inside, check out the setup. It's simple as that, man. Show your setup, show what you have, because a lot of people don't do little things like that, and that could risk them from getting tons of events in the future, because some people just don't like that whole like holding the phone, take a couple pictures, post it, because a lot of people are just gonna see that like, oh, they're a rookie company, they're too new. So, for someone who's going into their year mark, I feel like just being able to show your face a little bit, show your, hey, I'm the owner of the company, here's my setup, here's what we offer. Be that salesman, because at the end of the day, we're business owners, but we're also the sales company. We're also the finance department. We're also the marketing team. We do everything. Unless you work with, maybe if you have a significant other that helps you, great. But like still, 2 people to do all those jobs is a lot of work. So, I think just being more consistent with your media is going to help you from year 1 to year 2 go a lot more stronger than it was. Because a lot of people, when they start their photo booth business, they start with just a couple pictures. They don't like to get in front of the camera. They're shy because they're just starting this business, not knowing if it's going to work out. Man, that was the first thing that I didn't do wrong last year. Was my first event. What's going on, guys? Tyler from TKR Events, and we're here at Agnes' 40th birthday party. Let's go inside, check out the setup. I showed the setup, and from there, it was just history, man. It's just from there, I was like, I could do this. That's not that hard. If I go back to my first couple videos, they did look kind of rookie-ish. A lot of people still say, no, those were great to this day. And I'm like, no, if you see the videos I do now, totally different Tyler, man. So that's my advice to them is just get in front of the camera. You know, I stress it with you. You know, Drew obviously does it, so you can't stress it on him because he's, you know, he's the king of that, getting in front of the camera, talking about his business and, you know, his photo booth stuff. So, but you know, with you, I say, Hans, get in front of the camera. And you know that those videos get a lot of likes, man. Matter of fact, I'm so proud to say that our video that we did together the other day. So if you guys want, check out my Instagram, TKR_events. It's a video of me doing Hans balloon garland for his baby shower. And bro, it got like 37 likes, bro. I never get those type of likes, man. So I don't know if
I
it's
was
just
on it. I was on it.
what's that?
Just because I was on it.
Oh yeah, great looking guy. I show him the biceps, Hans.
No, no, not do that.
He's like, no, no, no. But yeah,
uh, no, I feel like you're talking to me, man. I feel like that advice is the same advice that you gave me on my first year of Finish Strong. I had to come out of my shell and show myself, man. I was too timid. I was too shy. I'd be like hiding, like, oh, don't I like I'm gonna like no. And you and Drew kept on pushing me. And now I do feel comfortable in front of the camera. Not as much as you. I can't act and do like, hey, this is Hans from Best Photo du Soleil. Like I when I've had people film me trying to do that, dude, I my tongue is just like blah, 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 and I have to
but
like
but man,
fight fakes.
honestly, man, you know how many takes sometimes those type of things take me. Like I know the other day when we were together, it was a one shot thing, but that's stuff that I practice in my head sometimes, where I'm like not around anybody, and I'm like, all right, guys. Like I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna do Hans's party, so I'm like, all right, guys, what's up? Tyler from TKR Events here, and this is a special, special, special day because it was a special day. I spoke from the heart, you know, and that's what you got to do. You got to just be passionate about it. So yeah, man, you know, this is a killer podcast. This is great, man. So
Yeah, man. So, what advice would I give people besides yours? I think your advice is way better than the advice I'm about to give, but is don't be afraid of coming out of show on software. So now that you've mastered LumaBooth on just making templates, now challenge yourself in making AI backdrops. Challenge yourself if you're using LumaBooth. Challenge yourself and make the offline QR code. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look into it and challenge yourself. That's something that you could bring to your customers and offer it that a rookie person, that just started doesn't know how to do. But if you're into the business, you already know LumaBooth in and out. Challenge yourself to learn something new, so that you could separate yourself from the rookies. Because if the rookie's charging, $400, and you're charging 450, but you guys are kind of like, offering the same thing, I'm just gonna go with the rookie because you're not advancing. So that's what my advice would be: is come out of your shell. If you haven't gotten a CRM, whether it be Check Cherry, Honeybook, I don't know, there's a bunch of like CRMs out there. Challenge yourself and learn that, so you make your life easier. I use Honeybook for both of my businesses now, and I'm able to answer on the quickness to both businesses. I'm able to send contracts, boom, 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 and it really helps because then you can lock in that rental sooner. Because you and I both know, man, if you don't answer, you don't send the contract, you don't get that deposit right away, what are they gonna do? They're gonna call somebody else, and whoever goes first, man, whoever goes first.
and no, hey, for anyone out there who's listening, please get the deposit right away. You could send the contract later. They could sign the contract. Don't worry about if they didn't sign the contract. Get the $50 to $100 deposit, whatever you ask for. You know, get it right away because then you're locked in. You're locked in with the customer, and they got no choice but to stick with you because then they might, you got to remember people reconsider sometimes. Like the next day, they might think, oh, you know what, the photo book company might be too expensive. Let me go find someone cheaper. But if they already locked in a deposit with you, 99% of the time they're not gonna cancel. Yeah, there is times where people will still cancel, say, yeah, forget, I don't care, I lost the $50, whatever, I lost $100, whatever, it is what it is. But that rarely happens, man. So another advice I would probably give somebody, now that I think about it, man, is just like you said, don't be afraid to use your software, but I think don't be afraid to also use big terminology for your business, man. I think a lot of stuff that's helped me too is saying the words like exclusive prop table, premium photo booth. Instead of using the smaller words like, hey, this is my iPad photo booth. Like I said in the mentor master class the other day, that turns a lot of people off when you say, hey, here's my iPad photo booth. Yeah, that's what it is. It's really an iPad photo booth. But like we talked about a couple months ago when we spoke about this, using big terminology, premium prop table, exclusive prop table, it makes your business value a lot more. it makes your business feel like, oh, like this guy like is serious with his stuff. He has an exclusive prop table. And sometimes I've even got asked, what's an exclusive prop table? And then you just get into detail. Oh, well, these are props that we have that are pretty expensive. They're licensed themed props such as Star Wars, the Lifesavers, Mario, Luigi masks. So you start saying, like, oh, these are themed props. Like, these are like official themed props. And honestly, these are props you could get from Five Below. So it's nothing really special about it. But the fact that you use the big terminology is what helps your customers think like, oh, this company is like luxury, like this is a luxury like business right here that I'm working with, and it makes them feel special because it's like, oh, I'm getting now they could go to their friends and be like, hey, for my wedding guys, I'm gonna have an exclusive prop table. They're gonna be like, whoa, what's that? And then when they see it, obviously it's just gonna be a regular schmegular prop table, but the fact that you're using those big words and maybe people see those themed props make them feel more special than rather just, hey, like you're just gonna get a prop table and it's just like some small little dollar store glasses. And again, like I said before, nothing wrong with that. But if you invest a little more for some nicer props and then start calling them like, hey, exclusive props,
Yeah, we're talking to
bro.
people a year in. We're talking about
And
people a
just,
year in.
yes,
So
this is for
we're
people.
not trying to insult you guys. I'm just saying
Yes,
like
we're talking
we're
for
a year
people.
in. You should be past that.
But if you are listening and you're new to the business and you're just starting off, this is a good advice for you too, from even starting from day one. I this is talking to the people a year in, or going into their second year, or even people late, even people who are in going into their third or fourth or fifth year. Maybe these people still haven't progressed with that type of stuff. So I want everybody to know that, like, whether you're new starting today or you've been in the business for 10 years, I want you guys to understand that just using terminology like that, making yourself feel more value, making your business sound more valuable will help you so much, and it will help you get leads so much faster. I've had people get so like almost like turned on where they're like, yo, like I'm getting a premium prop table, exclusive like I'll call sometimes a luxury photo booth. Yeah, we don't have the big mirror booths with the big lights and stuff like that. Like those are really luxury. But hey, we have an iPad photo booth, but we're going to call it premium photo booth because, we think that our iPad photo booth is premium, but you don't tell them that. You just, say, hey, my photo booth is premium. It's a premium photo booth. And it to me, it is like a luxury because it comes with GIF, boomerang, video mode. So there's so much more. Then you got the text, email, QR code, and the airdrop option. Like, I feel like that photo booth it hasn't got the flowers that it deserves because an iPad photo booth could do so much. And I know that, it's different than obviously the mirror booths and stuff like that because those are like luxury. But honestly, I don't see it much different. The only thing I see is that the mirror booth is heavier and the iPad photo booth is smaller, and obviously it's all on an iPad. But the other day when we were at your party, yo, I loved I'm jealous, man. I need to get those wand lights. Those the wand lights that you had,
Mhm.
bro. With your LED light, bro, that made the photo booth picture so crispy. I was telling Kristen, I said, bro, these pictures, and even Drew when he was there taking pictures, I'm like, bro, these pictures are so crispy. Like, and we were outside, so for that to be an outside, I was like, damn, I can only imagine what the setup would be inside.
Yeah.
And by the way, I did love your jelly bean backdrop, Hans.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the first time anyone's shown the jelly bean drop backdrop any love. Any love.
Well, maybe now that you have pictures for it, put it on your social media, so maybe people start getting, oh wow, that actually looks pretty good at an event. You know what I mean, for baby showers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it, man. I just think using bigger words helps your business a lot. But
So you were
yes,
talking
sir.
about earlier about people, you know, advice even for people that have been 2, 3, 4 years in. So let's shift to our years now. So let's what goals do we have? You and I have for year two. Like where do we want to be by the end of year two? We're already in year two now. Where do we want to be before we reach?
Well, man, I want to definitely work with a lot more corporate companies. I love working with corporate companies. Yeah, it's a lot more work because they expect a lot more, but that's what I like is that they're paying big dollars, and obviously they do expect a lot more. I do love working with them. I want to do more weddings, sweet 16s. I love having those type of events. Again, I want to get my second photo booth. Then I want to get the 360 booth and include that in my business. So there's so much more to come for my company. I'm also getting into DJing and the getting the LED robot soon and stuff like that. So there's so much more. But as far as photo booth wise, I just want to be able to upgrade myself now. Get that printer. That's another thing. I want to start finally doing prints. I turned away so many print events this year, man, because I don't have a printer. And I finally, I'm able to work with like Nadia from the group chat. She's kind of like my right hand girl with that stuff. where if I need a printer, I could ask her. You know, we also have Tamara in the group chat where she's offered me her printer as well. But you know, I just want to have my own. I feel like it's just time for something like that. It's just my software, man. I'm just not ready for it. Um, I'm just kind of waiting on it. And to be honest, Salsa is a great software. You know, another second one to recommend over LumaBooth, but I think LumaBooth is great for when you're starting off, and you know, it's good for having two devices, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, right now, I actually called. Well, Drew actually called for me. We called Salsa, and we asked, and we said, "Hey, like, you know, what's the printer that we could use?" And they told us that you could use any printer, but the real recommended one was like some DMP printer, and you know, I don't know. I think it kind of intimidates me because I see that a lot of people have printer problems at their events, and I don't want to be stuck at an event with a printer problem. I'm not very techy, but it's something I just got to learn. I just got to, you know, I think that would upgrade my business, being able to offer prints. But again, I do like making the money I'm making with just being digital only. But yeah, that's about it, man. Just a few things I got to add on to my business that'll just help me grow. That's really my year two plans,
For me,
and
man,
then working with big corporate companies this year too as well.
that's where I was going with it. I feel like my goal is because I haven't had a corporate job, at least for my photo booth. For my mechanical bulls, I have, you know about it, but for my photo booth, I haven't had a corporate job, and I know the corporates pay well, but they make you work for it. Like they'll be like, "Yo, this is what we want." But to me, now that I've had a taste of how much they pay, I'm like, dude, I want it. I want it. Stress me out as long as the paycheck is worth it, like I'll do it, you know. Um,
Sure.
so that's that. My goal for before I end for year two is land some corporate job, even if it's a small one, even if it's just, you know, a little Caesars that hits me up for their like holiday party or something. But I want some experience, just to challenge myself and see how I could brand it and do activations here and there for them, you know, because I have
Well,
all these
my
ideas and
advice my advice to you, man, go on LinkedIn, make a LinkedIn account. I'm not sure if you have one already. Obviously, under your business name, not just Hans. Like, you know, make it a business account. You know, with your business logo and everything. Reach out to a bunch of corporate companies. That's what works for us, man. And yeah, that's really it was actually pretty easy for me, at least. You know.
all right. Well, I mean, that's all I got for questions for you, man. Year two, here we come, man. Let's get it. You know, we're well into our year two now, so now we just need to accomplish those goals together, man.
Yes, sir. So, all right, guys, we want to thank you for watching the podcast, being supporters. I believe this is episode 21. I think the last one was episode 20, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll keep track later on. Anyways, you can find me at TKR underscore events, and you can find Hans at, go ahead, Hans, take it away.
Best Photo Booths LA. And you could find my mechanical bull business if you guys are curious about mechanical bulls and how that business works. It's at Tito's Toros. And yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you, Tyler, for joining me on this short podcast. It was short but sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. And Drew, shout out to you, man. And we'll see you guys next week. Deuces.